Hello and welcome to JHouze Radio. Welcome to episode 15. And as always, I'm your co-host Los, and we're here with KJ. And today we're going to talk about new, interesting, funny topics.
So how you been, man? I mean, we took a week off last week. We were supposed to record. You know, things happen, but what's been going on? What's new with you?
Not much. I'm gonna let people know what happened. Actually, because of the heat wave up here in the Northeast, I had a blackout. So I had no power, and with no power means no recording. That's kind of what happened. Mother Nature said, you guys need a break. So we took the break and we're back, and we have some stuff to catch up on and some interesting stuff to talk about. You started off.
I looked at something earlier today that I didn't really pay attention to before, but on our Apple Podcast app, we actually have some reviews on there, and we're averaging 3.5. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody who listens to the show. Thanks for the reviews. It doesn't matter if you like our videos on YouTube, if you just give us a few stars on iTunes or leave any words on any of our reviews. Like, we really do appreciate you guys. Thanks for showing the love. Even if it's something that's not so positive, just be honest with us. If there's anything that we could do to fix the show, make things better, you know, good and bad, just let us know, and we appreciate you guys. But thanks for that.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for the review. We appreciate it. And, you know, we're going to keep producing stuff as long as you guys keep liking it.
Exactly. So, all right. So we're going to jump into things pretty quick. Like I said, I'm going to start off with my PWL. I'm not playing much this week. Honestly, I've been really busy doing a lot of things in my personal life, trying to get things going over here as far as JHouze is concerned. So I haven't really been playing anything new. I mean, I typically dive into Overwatch. That's like my go-to game for anything.
Oh, you
quick
really
easy,
play
jump in for a
Overwatch?
few matches. Yeah,
Dude, it's like a little
Overwatch?
kids game.
You don't
bro.
like Overwatch? Oh, come on, man. That is not a lot of grown men play that game. All right.
Okay.
It's an awesome game. It's pretty fun. Next time we hang out, I'm gonna make you play for sure. It's fun. But yeah, I'm playing Overwatch right now. I mean, I've been taking a break from a lot of my other games because I just haven't had the time. So Overwatch is my go-to. It's a first-person shooter. Check it out, guys. What I'm watching, I'm binging Power like crazy. I don't know if anybody have seen that show yet. Power is a show that was produced by 50 Cent. Power is a great show. So if you guys have checked out anything that's kind of close to that, I would definitely recommend the show. It's really good. I kind of second guessed it when I heard that 50 Cent produced it because I'm
second guessing because I hear 50 Cent.
Trust me, I felt the same way. And actually, the show's kind of old. Like, it's been out for a few years now. But trust me, I second guessed it. I watched the first 2 episodes. I was hooked. It is an amazing show. Literally, almost every episode literally keeps you on the edge of your seat because there's always something happening. And it's kind of hard to give away. I mean, it's kind of hard to talk about without giving away too much, but definitely check it out. Power. It's on Hulu. So if you got Hulu, go check it out.
Does 50 Cent actually like star in it?
He doesn't star. He has some pretty big parts here and there. He's more of like kind of like the sideline background guy. I mean, he makes his presence known, but he's not like the front runner guy. You know what I mean?
I don't know, because like I kind of lost all respect for him with that whole. He did that sign on Instagram. This is broke with stacks of money.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and then he went to the judge. He goes, like, "It was all fake money. I'm really broke."
Well, honestly, this show probably made him a lot of money because it's really good. Trust me. If I'm saying it's good, being that I second guessed it because of 50 Cent, it's really good. I was surprised. I was really surprised. So check it out. It's called Power. It's on Hulu, and I think it comes on Stars. I think the show is still running now, actually. So. But that's what I'm watching, and that's my recommendation. And what I'm listening to, honestly, I have not been listening to much music lately. I've been listening to mainly like not storybooks, like audiobooks. And that's about it.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't really listen to a lot of music right now because I just, part of me kind of doesn't really have time unless I'm working out or something like that.
So we're up to me now, playing, watching, listening?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I'm playing is a stupid game on my phone called Word Cookies.
Interesting.
And it's basically give you a bunch of letters and they tell you how many words can you make out of this. But they give you a significant list. How many 2-letter words, 3-letter words, 4-letter words, 5-letter words, and then some. And I've been playing it whenever like, I'm dropping some kids off at the pool or I'm waiting for my girlfriend and stuff. And it's okay. And it kind of challenges my vocabulary.
Awesome.
So I kind of like it. So that's, excuse the burp there. Ooh, God damn it. That came out of nowhere.
I can smell that one over here.
Ooh, so can I.
Oh, man.
What I'm watching, I just finished watching the series on Netflix called Safe. Like at the end of every episode, you're like scratching your head. You're like, huh? And when the whole thing is over, you're like, God damn, that just like you feel like emotionally drained when you're done watching it. You're like, that just fucked with my emotions.
Oh, wow. That sounds like my kind of show.
Oh, it's good. It's good. But it's very British. Have you ever seen Dexter?
I've like skimmed through a few episodes like a few times, like where I'll just like flip the channel, but I never actually sat down and watched it though.
Okay. Well, the main actor in Dexter, he's actually British and he's in the series.
Really?
Yeah.
British actors are taking over the world. There are so many British actors that just watching them in films, you hear them talk and you would never think that they're British. Yeah,
they do American very good. We don't do British very good because none of us are very pompous.
Yeah.
I was watching this clip once and someone said, they talked about Animal House and they said the difference between American humor and British humor.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, like, have you ever seen Animal House? Every American wants to, the one scene where he breaks that guy's guitar who's singing folk music on the stairwell.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, every American comedian wants to be John Belushi. All the British comedians want to be the guy playing the guitar. And he's basically saying that, the US is built on this, we can do it. And British society is right. No, dear, sit down. Know your limits. But their television, though, is like amazing, though. British TV is like fucking hardcore. Like, remember that the Misfits that I made you watch?
Oh, yeah. Yo, I love that show.
I still have not finished watching the last season.
What is wrong with you?
You know what it is? Ever since they killed all the main actors, I was like,
Sorry for anybody who has not watched it yet. That was a spoiler alert, but
watch it. Watch it anyway, because that shit hits you like a brick.
It's a good show. Misfits, I think it might still be on Hulu because that's where I watched it at. It's an amazing show. It's pretty good. Like you said, it is a British show with a lot of British humor, but it's interesting. It's very interesting. It's a very low budget film. I mean, like show, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I'm a fucking rocket scientist. One line I fucking love from that show.
I think I might actually go back to watch that like entire show, but you have to finish it. Yeah, after the whole cast got, booted off or whatever, it was different. It wasn't as good, but it's still pretty interesting though. Still pretty interesting.
Two things I'm listening to. On audiobooks, I just started listening to Q versus Spock. And it was fucking hysterical. I listened to both versions, both books of it. And I'm listening to Eric Murillo. Eric Murillo is one of the top DJs in the world, and he comes from Union City, New Jersey, the town that I work in. Yeah. I knew the guy, and by knowing, I knew him through a friend. I was never buddies with him. I never hung out with him. None of that shit. I just kind of like knew him as a friend of a friend. And when he was like next to nobody, it was right before he released that song, I Like to Move It. Remember that song? I like to move it, move it.
Oh, yeah.
He's the producer of it.
Classic.
Yeah. So I knew him just before that. But I haven't spoken to him in years. And his sister actually works in the Union City school system as a teacher. So I've been listening to Eric Murillo. For some odd reason, I was like, I want to listen to a DJ. All right, Murillo, what the hell? And I was like, wow, he got like even better. So yeah, so that's my PWL.
Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna jump into my random facts, and I usually try to find some interesting things that'll be a little weird sometimes. My fact comes from thefactsite.com. It says that in Switzerland, it is illegal to own just one guinea pig. Because of the fact that guinea pigs are social animals, they are considered victims of abuse if they are alone.
Really?
That is weird. Yeah. And this is in Switzerland. That's a really weird fact, but interesting though.
My girlfriend used to own a guinea pig. and they think those things are social. Like they will harass you if you ignore them.
Really?
Yeah. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's actually good to know that, because I've been considering getting my daughter a guinea pig, and yeah, it's probably good that I didn't do that.
Well, again, the things are very social. They're and they make a lot of noises. They're very verbal, very vocal. You wouldn't think so, but they are, and they're very affectionate. Like you can carry them and things like that, and everything else. You know. So.
Wow. Yeah. See, me, I like pets that don't make noise, so that will probably annoy me, honestly.
But you've had a dog before, haven't you?
Yeah. Oh my, like I love animals, man. But I mean, I love dogs, but man, I just don't know if I could like have a dog, man. Like it's just too much. I mean, when I recently moved back out to Jersey, I had to get rid of it because we couldn't have it here in the apartment. But man, like after I had a dog, I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to go back to getting a turtle, because I had a turtle actually, but I guess my turtle at the time, it was still like a baby and it had like siblings or something, and it was depressed and it wouldn't eat. So my turtle literally starved itself to death.
Ouch.
So it died on me. I guess because it was too depressed. And I tried everything. I tried worms, all different types of turtle food, and it literally would not eat. And it just died on me.
You try getting in another turtle?
I was going to, but I just didn't have the money at the time because I spent so much on that turtle. So, but next time I do get another, I mean, I really like turtles, for anybody who knows me. Hell, like some of my previous friends, well, some friends from like years ago used to call me Turtle. So that's why I got
That's right. I forgot about that.
Exactly. So there's an interesting point about me. So yeah, if I get a turtle again, which I probably will, I'll make sure that if there's one that's with that turtle, I'll try to get both of them. So that way they won't, get depressed.
You should get him Joker and Harley Quinn.
You know, that's a good freaking idea. I just might do that.
Yep. My random fact is in 1992, 30,000 rubber duckies were lost at sea. And yeah, a cargo ship traveling to Hong Kong accidentally lost a shipping container full of rubber duckies, 30,000 of them. And
wow,
they're still being found today, random rubber duckies in the ocean.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so freaking cool. And what year was that, you said?
92. And they've shown up everywhere from Australia to Alaska.
So now we're going to jump into our news topics. Our first topic of the night or day, whenever you're listening to this. I know a lot of people probably heard about this by now, but I just want to talk about this with Los to get his take on it. But an Area 51 page on Facebook went viral. Well, it was more like a group. I forgot who made it, but somebody on Facebook made a page to raid Area 51. Now, eventually it turned out to be a joke, but Area 51 or the governments did send out a message saying that they should not do this because people, if they try to, they will get prosecuted. And people are still pushing the issue to this day, saying that us as a people should raid Area 51.
The page is actually called Area 51. Let's raid Area 51. They can't get all of us.
Yes. What do you think of that?
So here's the thing that I want to talk about. I've known about it for a while because of Reddit, because it shows up as memes and constantly Area 51, blah, 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 people making jokes out of it. But Area 51 is a high security facility. If you don't think those soldiers are going, oh, we need extra bullets, okay? Loading up their 30 cals on the Humvees, ready to go, you are sadly mistaken. They will kill people and not care. For the sake of argument, if there are 10,000 people rushing a military base, the military is not going to say, oh, let's just arrest them and throw tear gas, okay? They are going to use deadly force after a certain point. And there are stupid people going, oh, we'll do the Natiro run, with their arms behind them as they run.
Oh, yeah. Naruto, yeah.
that, whatever that's pronounced. And, because that if you run that way, you run faster than the bullets. No, motherfucker.
This is not an anime cartoon, guys.
You are going to have a hole on you that comes in the size of a quarter and exit the size of a basketball.
Exactly. Honestly, it's... Like I said, it was a joke. It was pretty funny, but it's interesting that they bring that up because I have a feeling now that somebody's going to copy that one day and actually really try to do it. I mean, ever since I was a kid, I've always been curious as to what Area 51 has had in there. And we all know that there's a possibility that there's alien, secrets in there. Everybody wants to know, but it's never going to be released.
Okay. Okay. Area 51 is a testing facility for a lot of spacecrafts, a lot of aircrafts, excuse me. The first stealth bomber, the one that's a triangle.
Yeah.
Well, there were photos before it was actually publicly announced. The government, publicly announced the aircraft. There were photos of it, online about it being refueled by an airplane. People are like, oh, look, the government's using alien spacecrafts and they're refueling them in midair and blah, 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 blah. Come on. Listen, if there was intelligent life in the universe, they would look at our planet and go, look at these fucking hillbillies. I am not landing here.
Now, so do you not believe that they have extraterrestrial life or anything from extraterrestrial life at Area 51?
No, I don't.
You don't think so?
No, because here's the thing about it, okay? We are too dumb to figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
Okay, let me give you a clue. Let's use Star Trek as an example. Star Trek uses these computer chips, right? That are like half processor, half hard drive, part supercomputer, and they're called isolinear chips. And on the show, it looks like a piece of plexiglass, which is probably what it is for real. Now, if an alien ship used quote unquote isolinear chips and it landed on Earth, people are going to look at that piece of plastic and go, how the fuck does this work? And and we just don't have the intelligent technology to figure it out.
That's very true.
We can barely understand each other when one person speaks English and another person speaks Spanish.
Hell, some of us can barely learn how to use a phone half the time.
Exactly. So, if there is alien spacecraft shit in there, people have killed themselves trying to do it because, the alien car alarm might just kill you.
Oh, man. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I guess a lot of us want to believe that there's alien stuff in Area 51 just because because of our curiosity. But I mean, I think it's possible that even if they don't have a shit ton of like spaceships, guns, and plasma rifles, they may have something. They may. I mean, because there's been too many things over the like decades or years that we've been here on this earth that, like stories that have come out saying that, oh, this person was abducted, which I don't really believe in that too much. But, oh, this was found, that was found. Like there's just too many secrets and too many things that happen in the government for me to believe that at least not one, maybe even two things of extraterrestrial life isn't in Area 51. And if it is, we're never going to find it out as a public because keeping those things a secret is what keeps us alive. It's what keeps the peace. So I'm sure if they don't have anything, they at least know something, in my opinion.
Look, mathematically, it is impossible that we're the only life in the universe, mathematically speaking.
Oh, yeah.
But let's face it, dude, why would they come here?
All right, so we're going to jump into our next news topic. I'm going to skip around a little bit here. We have a lot to talk about. GameStop. A lot of people should probably know about GameStop, but recently they've been having a lot of issues in the stock market. Their company has been suffering a little bit as far as sales. A lot of people just are not going to GameStop because gaming is going digital and the business model of gaming is changing. But GameStop is trying something different. They are looking to change their business model and going into more of like retro gaming in an area where people can come hang out and basically be like a gaming hangout area where you can play games, maybe host tournaments, things like that, and sell like old retro games, retro systems, and things like that. So do you think that's going to save GameStop? Do you think that's an interesting business model?
I've been to places that are quote unquote gaming lounges. And what they do is, they have little areas set up for you to play whatever game you want. And I've been to one of these retro arcades where they literally like you pay a certain amount of money, you go in and you play all these old video games and all these old systems and this, that, and the other thing. And as fun as that is, I don't really think that's sustainable. People are just getting tired of feeling like they're getting ripped off. And I think that is what's brought GameStop's decline more than anything else. But what has helped them keep afloat is all those is all that stuff you can buy, like the Funko Pops and these weird action figures and blankets or whatever of all these gaming universes. I think the memorabilia is more what's kept them afloat than anything else.
And I'll be the first to admit, I am a Funko Pop collector. I am not ashamed of that.
Yo, I wanted the Gabriel Iglesias Funko Pop, bro.
Oh, they have one?
Yo, the only comedian to have a Funko Pop is Gabriel Iglesias. And he sold out within like 2 days of him releasing it.
Oh, if you find one, bro, you got to get one from me and you.
Bro, if you find one on
I'll give you the money
eBay,
for
I
it.
bet you money it's in the hundreds of dollars right now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, probably. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the business model, it's an interesting business model because, yeah, they have been kind of leading towards more like memorabilia and, just pop culture items that that you can buy. And I think that's a really good business model in a way. It might not be for everybody because a lot of people aren't really into that stuff. They just want to buy a game and go home. But for like the true like pop culture gaming nuts like me, we're gonna love that, because the past few times that I've gone to GameStop, I found myself looking at the pop figures, the blankets, the t-shirts, the hats more than I look at a game. I'll go to a game for I'll look in the game section for like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then I spend the rest of my time there just looking at the memorabilia, because I like collecting stuff like that. So I think it'll be a good idea. I just think the thing that's going to change the company is that if they're going to go that route, I think it's going to change the size of the store. Maybe they might have to make it bigger depending on how they're trying to set this up. Because if they're going to have people hanging out there, you're going to need space. Yeah. If you're going to have gaming tournaments there or just have people come there to play games, you're going to need space. So I'm wondering they're probably still going to have to sell systems because when Xbox comes out next year and the PS5 comes out next year, okay, yeah, you can buy it online, but what about the parents who are out shopping? Where are they going to buy these systems from? I guess Walmart maybe or whatever. Ugh. Yeah, no. So me personally, with the kind of consumer that I am, I think it would be a great business model. I just don't know, like you said, if it's going to be sustainable because it's not going to be what everybody wants. And I feel like maybe their chain might become smaller. Maybe. I don't think you're going to see a GameStop in like every town like you do, especially if they're going to take that route.
Well, they've recently closed 250 stores.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe they're making that move towards that. Maybe they're going to start closing more stores. And instead of having a store in every town, have it be more of a thing where it's going to be kind of hard. Well, not hard to find it, but if you see one, oh, that's GameStop. Let me see what's new in there because you don't see it everywhere. And they're probably going to have to get bigger. So if you have a GameStop in a town and that GameStop is small, it's probably going to close. And the GameStops that are a little bigger might stay open longer.
Well, I have a GameStop 3 blocks from my house. And I don't like going to that one because the guys there are kind of douchey.
I've been hearing that a lot. I mean, even me, I've had that experience where some GameStops I go into and yeah, some of the guys are kind of like assholes, they'll say, hey, do you want to buy this? You want to buy that? And you say, no, they're like, all right. And then they just kind of give you like an attitude basically. But I have seen that, like some GameStop that I've gone to recently, I've seen people just sitting in there, just talking, chilling, just playing a game, like not even really looking at a game. Like they're just in there, just talking about pop culture, talking about gaming. And I kind of like that aspect. I mean, I don't have a lot of people besides you that I can actually sit down and just talk about pop culture with. And to be able to have a place that I can go to and just hang out and just chill with random people, maybe make a new friend and just talk about that stuff and just, grab, probably not a beer, but grab a drink and just play some games or play some, so like some tabletop games and hang out. I think that'll be awesome. So even if some people might not be into it, they might open up a new crowd who might actually start getting into it again, and maybe they can make something out of this. I think it's a great idea. I'm going to let you handle the next news topic because this is typically your area. We're going to talk about politics, not Star Trek. Usually Carlos's area is either Star Trek or politics. And this time we're talking about politics.
Or talking about the business.
or the business.
The business. All right. So we're going to talk about our orange pumpkin commander-in-chief, Trump. Everyone is talking about his racist tweets, right? And they're like, oh, he's a douche, he's a jerk, he's anything. But people don't realize why he's sending out those racist tweets. It's people, he wants them to, he's doing a magician's trick. Look at over here while something else is happening over there. The truth of the matter is he's trying to hide the fact that he has a long history with Jeffrey Epstein, the pedophile guy.
Yeah.
Who was sex trafficking children.
Holy crap.
Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No, I did not. See, me, I don't pay attention to politics as much as I used to, and I know that's probably bad.
Dude.
But yeah, I did not know
Jeffrey
that.
Epstein is a hedge fund manager who is a billionaire, okay? Mm-hmm. And he was running a sex trafficking ring where he was trafficking children for sex.
Wow.
I believe his plane was called the Lolita Express.
Holy crap, really?
Yeah, not only that, like Trump called him out at a rally once. He goes, oh, my good friend Jerry Epstein, who loves women, likes them a little young, in my opinion, because I've seen it. He goes, but needless to say, he's a good guy. And there are photos of him hanging out with Epstein. There's like video of him at a party with Epstein. And Trump is trying to distance himself from him. He was like, yeah, I barely knew the guy. Bullshit. You were at parties with him. Okay.
Wait, so he literally say likes them a little young? Like he literally said that?
Yeah, look it up. He said it in his speech.
Oh my God. Wow. This guy is running our country, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. A rapist, misogynist, who is running our country. You know,
that's ridiculous.
He has 5 kids by 3 wives. He cheated on all of them. Like, is indebted to Russia and all this other stuff. And people are like, he's our man. Bro, if you support that guy, but don't support a president, our former president, who was married to the same woman for decades, had 0 scandals, was educated, has 2 children, okay? Your politics and your politics isn't, Republican. Your politics is racism, okay? Tell the truth. The main reason why a lot of people didn't like Obama is because he was black. I've had people I've known for years, okay, who'll be like, oh, I hate the fact that N-word is in office. That N-word is going to break this country.
Yeah.
But you know what? The truth of the matter is, who cares? What color he is. He did a good job. Did he do the 100% best job in the universe? No, nobody can. But when you're looking at how Fox News is starting to turn on Trump because he's raised the deficit in the past year alone $2 trillion. That tells you what type of president he is. I think we're up to $22 trillion in debt. He has raised the deficit every year he's been in office.
And we still got a whole another year with this guy, man.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
If he doesn't get impeached.
If he doesn't get impeached.
But then the problem is we have Mike Pence, the gay cake guy, as president.
Every day that he's in office, man, I just feel like it just gets worse and worse. That's why, honestly, I stopped paying attention to anything in reference to Trump because I feel like the more I hear about him, it just makes me sick to my stomach. And I know a lot of people are regretting, having him in office. Some people will still bite their tongue and say, no, I stand by Trump still. No, and deep down, they regret that.
Yeah.
They regret it.
Think about it, man. Trump turned around with his racial tweet was about these 4 women of color, okay, in Congress. And he was like, go back to your shithole countries, essentially is what he said. They're all American citizens. They're trying to fix the shithole country they're in. And it's a shithole because of him.
Exactly.
I feel like the U.S. has lost a lot of influence in the world with Trump as president. And unfortunately, England has followed suit with their own version of Donald Trump as becoming the new prime minister. Mm-hmm. And I think we need to really look at why he sent out those racial tweets. Trump is a lot of things, but one thing he's not stupid about is his public image. He knows what it takes to rile people up, and
exactly.
Nobody was really retweeting his stuff. Nobody was really he had a decline. I think it was of 60% or 70% retweets. It was declined and people noticing his tweets. So he does things like this, one, to cover his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, and two, so people can start paying attention to his Twitter again. That's the truth of it. You know, you may call me wrong. You might say that I don't know what I'm talking about. But think about it. Every time he does these Twitter scandals, it's because there's another scandal that he's trying to get people's attention away from. Basically, it's a report that talks about how all these billionaires are running the world and all the nasty shit that they do. Mm-hmm. You know, everything from slavery to sex trafficking to just killing people and poisoning people. You know, and then Trump turns around. I think some of his associates were on it. So he said another Twitter scandal. I forgot what it was. And he just does these things constantly over and over again. Like, people need to understand Trump is a lot of things, but he knows how to manipulate public opinion.
All right, so we're going to jump into our final news topic. And this one's pretty interesting. So Endgame finally snapped Avatar out of the #1 highest grossing film of all time. I think they did it again just so they could have a shot at trying to beat Avatar. Do you think that's why they did it? Or do you think they were really trying to put out some extra features, extra footage and stuff like that?
No, I completely think is they wanted to beat Avatar as the biggest movie of all time.
But is it really that important? I mean, well, maybe to them, but to you, if you were in that position, like, why is that important to do that? I mean, you're Marvel. You're already one of the biggest companies in the world right now.
Well, because think about it. Okay, first it was Titanic, which earned $2.187 billion US dollars. Okay, that a James Cameron movie, and then the second one to beat it was Avatar, a James Cameron movie. So, and those are things where people are like, oh my God, Titanic. For how many years Titanic was like the biggest movie in the world? They literally advertised it as that. Avatar, the biggest movie in the world. They advertised it as that. And now Marvel gets to say, we made the biggest movie in the world. It's bragging rights, bro. It's bragging rights, and it's a good marketing ploy to say, hey, look, we made the biggest movie in the world. Come see what's next. And guess what? Spider-Man made $1 billion already.
I think everybody knew that. Yeah, it probably was for bragging rights, because they could have easily, honestly, just waited to the DVD to add those extra, features or footage in there. But bragging rights, I can see that.
The other thing is too, is it sets Marvel as the movie studio. So now people get to say, oh, I'm going to watch a movie from the movie studio that made the biggest movie in the world. And that also helps their marketing. Yeah.
True indeed. So I guess from a business standpoint, I guess it was a smart decision.
Yeah.
Honestly. So, I mean, I didn't go see the film a second time around in the theaters. I wanted to, but I figured, hell, I'll just wait till it comes on DVD. I'm sure there's going to be tons of footage on there. Yeah, it was awesome, guys. I freaking loved it. Hands down. So far, I think what we should add to like the show, I think at the end of the year, we should have like our top film of the year, our top game of the year, and our top song of the year. Part of like our PWL of 2019, I guess you can call it.
Okay, so that means you got to start listening to music after 2005.
I have to, guys. I have to.
Otherwise, you'd be like, Nirvana smells like Teen Spirit.
Oh my! You're like, that song's pretty old, KJ.
Yo, let me tell you something. I had a little kid come up to me once and goes, "Yo, I discovered this really old rock band." I was like, "Awesome! What is it?" I'm thinking the Rolling Stones, the Doors, the Eagles. He's like, "Yeah, it's really old. It's called Nirvana, and they have this song." And I was like, "Ugh." I went to college when Nirvana came out.
You don't like Nirvana?
I love Nirvana. But my whole point is, he said it's an old rock band.
The meat portion of the show, we're going to jump into our show notes. And this is pretty much going to revolve around Comic-Con, which was held in San Diego this year. There was a lot of great news that came out of Comic-Con. A lot of stuff I want to touch base on. And because you are the Star Trek fanatic, I'm going to let you start off with the Star Trek news that came out this year from Comic-Con.
Discovery is doing something new. They're launching 1,000 years into the future. So, and I think the creators did that so they can get away from canon. And then we'll make everything up. And nobody can say anything because it didn't exist before. as it's like saying, if they created Star Wars and all of a sudden, there was no such thing as Jedis, or they changed the way Jedis work and this, that, and the other thing, people will be up in arms. And Discovery really ruined a lot of what was canon in Star Trek. Like the Klingons, they made them into other alien things. But if you would have known, if you knew who the douchebag was who designed them, you're like, oh, it makes sense. He thinks he's better than the universe. The one thing I'm not excited about is the Star Trek doing an animated cartoon called Star Trek Lower Decks. It's about junior officers on one of the least important ships in the Star Trek universe. And I'm how is this exciting?
Well, see, I watched a lot of Comic-Con because there was a lot of great stuff that came out of it. And some people were speculating the reason why they're doing this is because, like you said, CBS is trying to really push Star Trek out there as a brand even more than what it already is. And I think they're trying to dive into a younger audience, trying to introduce them into, that universe. So I think that's what this is for. I don't really think this is for, like the diehards, like you who've been watching it for so long and things like that, because you might not really be into that kind of story. I think this is more of an intro point for people who may be a little younger, who never really heard of Star Trek, or, who don't know anything about it. I think this is an entry point for them, honestly. So in a way, I think it's smart for the audience that they're trying to reach. Probably not for the diehards.
I don't, because what got most people into Star Wars was a family member. What got most people into Star Trek was a family member. And it's about negotiating and being peaceful and things like that. Not that they don't have their war and things like that, but the philosophy of Star Trek is really handed on from family member to family member. Exposing it to kids is fine, but, the people who are making the Star Trek cartoon is Rick and Morty. The Rick and Morty people. Yeah,
I forgot to bring that up. Yeah, I actually heard about that.
And I've watched Rick and Morty, and that's not Star Trek.
Yeah, it's, what? I feel like, just stepping off of this for a second, I feel like the film industry is really changing. You have a lot of directors, producers who are really getting, gutsy with the projects they're taking on. Look at, what's his name? We were just talking about him. Quentin Tarantino, who's making a Star Trek film.
That's never going to happen.
He's never made anything close to that genre. And now he's jumping into Star Trek. And then, you got the Rick and Morty, producers making a Star Trek cartoon. I mean, yeah, they make cartoons, but Star Trek though?
I don't see it working.
Yeah, like their humor. I mean, I guess because we only know them from Rick and Morty, but it's tough to see someone go from making that kind of humor to making something in a Star Trek universe. Like it's really tough to see. I mean, it could be possible, but it's just hard to put those two together. In my opinion.
I just don't think it's possible. I mean, I've seen a couple episodes of Rick and Morty, and it's not that it's a bad cartoon. It's actually a really good cartoon, but I can't see how they can turn that style into Star Trek philosophy. I kind of feel like it'll turn Star Trek into a Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, that's the vibe that I got from it.
Yeah, and the thing
that's
is,
the vibe I got from it.
You can't watch Teen Titans Go, Star Trek version, and then turn around and watch Deep Space Nine and think they're in the same universe.
All right, so we're gonna jump into some more things from Comic-Con San Diego because, like I said, there's a lot of stuff to talk about here. We're just gonna kind of run through this one a little bit. Top Gun is coming out with pretty much a sequel to the original Top Gun. This is Top Gun Maverick. It looks pretty good. The trailer looks pretty good. It's good to see Tom Cruise jump back into that role again. The movie was, decent. I wasn't too crazy about the movie when it came out, but it's just interesting to see them bring that film back. I didn't think it was going to happen, but there's been rumors about it for a while. Top Gun Maverick is coming out next year, 2020, June 26th. Are you looking to check this one out, Los, or no?
I still can't get through the first Top Gun.
Really? You didn't like it at all?
No, and it's got these weird, like, gay overtones to it,
Well, it's a very macho, like, one of those army films.
Like, there's this one scene that I'm like, dude, why don't you just make out? where it's Tom Cruise's character and Val Kilmer's character. Yeah. And I think there was in a locker room or something. I forget what it was. And Val Kilmer just like bites the air in front of his face and stuff. And I'm like, guys,
you guys love each other, don't you?
You guys need to make out or something. Like, you know, let's just take care of it off screen. I just didn't like it, you know. Again, it's been decades since I've thought about that movie. Maybe I watch it again now, might have a different opinion, but I really I couldn't get through the first one. So don't think I'm going to watch the second one. Although Tom Cruise is one hell of a fucking movie star. So maybe.
Honestly, that's why I want to check it out. I mean, it looks interesting. I'm actually looking at the cast list and it looks like it's probably spoiled, but Val Kilmer looks like he's coming back because they didn't show him at all in the trailer. And I think they were trying to keep that a surprise because they didn't show him. But Val Kilmer is definitely coming back because he's in the cast list on IMDb.
He's in bad health. I think he's recovering from throat cancer.
Wow. Really? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear about that, Val. But yeah, I mean, I look forward to seeing him on screen because I haven't really seen him on screen recently. So it's going to be good to see him come back. And like the trailer looks pretty good. It looks like just based off of some of the shots, you can tell that this was probably shot in IMAX. At least some of the shots were probably shot in IMAX. So I'm really intrigued to probably check this out in an IMAX theater because just looking at the shots, like you can tell that it had like an IMAX camera.
Oh yeah.
So I love movies in IMAX. For anybody who hasn't seen a movie in IMAX yet, you got to do it because it's an amazing experience. I wouldn't suggest just watching any old movie. Like certain movies really do it justice, and it looks like this one might do it justice. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, that's all I had to say about Maverick. Nothing too deep about that one. Another one I want to jump into is from our Jersey native, Jane Silent Bob, the reboot trailer.
Oh my God, I'm so excited about it.
Yes. Oh man. All right. What are your thoughts on the trailer, man?
About fucking time. Yo, for real. It's time to get back to the View Askew-universe, man. Forget all this fucking side weird shit movies that you're doing like Tusk and Red State and all that stuff. Like that was just too fucking weird. Whatever weed you were smoking, bro, that shit was too powerful, yo. Dial it back. Because this is what people really... The thing about oh my God, what's his name again? The director. Kevin Smith, yeah. The thing about him was, even though they were like movies full of dick and fart jokes, the characters were intelligent. Like you really liked the characters. He writes people so well. And they talk way too much, which I kind of love. No, I really do, because it's not very natural for you to get a collection of people who talk too much because they all want to talk over each other.
Exactly.
But I just kind of loved it. And he has Supergirl, the actress who's playing Supergirl, who's playing Chronic, and Blunt Man is played by Val Kilmer. Thor is in it, and like there's callbacks to everything. And Kevin Smith's daughter is playing Jason Mewes' daughter in the movie.
Yo, the cast in this film, like, I think that's one thing that really got me excited about this trailer is that he's like really digging into like some of the cast that was on the previous film. You know, he has Matt Damon coming back. Like you said, he has Chris Hemsworth coming back, Val Kilmer, Melissa, I don't know how you say her last name, but Supergirl.
Yeah, Supergirl.
She's in there. Like Ben Affleck, like
Affleck is back. Yo, they were estranged for years because of his ex-wife.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened with that?
She didn't like Kevin Smith, so she basically said, "You can't hang out with him. He's not your friend anymore."
Wow.
Yeah, bro.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yes. That's why, like, seeing all these characters back is such a good thing. And Silent Bob is a deaf black girl. The female Silent Bob is a deaf black girl. Yeah. Millennium Falcon's best friend is a deaf black girl.
Yeah, you know, big ups to that, because for anybody who doesn't know, my son is deaf. So when I saw that, I thought that was pretty cool that he did that, honestly. So,
and he even learned some sign language from her.
Oh, he did? Really?
Yeah, he learned some sign language from her. So he was talking to her like in sign language, like, yo, man, this is this is what his fans were waiting for and wanting, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever seen his shows where he sits there and he talks to people?
Yeah, I actually caught a few here and there. I haven't seen any recently. I don't know if he still does it, but I actually caught a few of them. And like recently, he was actually talking at Comic-Con about the film, saying that he said that this film is gonna be its typical Jay and Silent Bob film, obviously, but he said there's gonna be moments in the film close to the end where it's probably gonna make you cry a little bit. And I was like, wow, really? Like, that's interesting. But
yeah. The other thing is too about him was it was his heart attack that made him do this. Because he kept putting it off and putting it off, but he had the heart attack. He goes, well, I might die tomorrow, so I'm going to do this. I promise everyone to do this. I'm going to do this. Yeah. You know, so that's just awesome. I'm so excited for the film. So excited.
All right. So let me see. What else did we get out of Comic-Con this year? We also got Pennyworth, which is pretty much an Alfred Pennyworth backstory that's set in the DC universe. It was before he met Batman, well, Bruce, basically, or his family. And it's pretty much going to be diving into when Alfred was young, when he was working as a special forces officer in London.
Well, here's the thing. They've gone into his background in the comics. So having a TV series about him makes sense. I mean, you need to figure out how come this man can figure out weapons. He can patch up Bruce Wayne, cook, take care of the family, and why he's so loyal. Like, there's a history there, and I would like to see the history on screen. Yeah,
I mean, I'll check it out because you know me. I'm a DC guy, ride or die. I will represent DC to the day I die, man.
And I'm a Marvel guy.
Yeah. I mean, I still watch my Marvel. I love my Marvel, but deep down, man, DC's in my blood. That's just how I am. But I'm going to check it out. It's interesting. I would have never thought I would have seen an Alfred show or movie or anything. But I think it's a good idea. I mean, looking at what Gotham did for the DC universe was pretty good too, because Gotham really dove into some characters that never really saw any screen time. And it was really good to see different characters, get some time to, tell their story. And I think it's going to be great for us to get a Pennyworth show. A lot of us don't know anything about Alfred's background, especially if you didn't read the comics. So I think this is awesome. And
not only that, how many people don't even know his last name is Pennyworth?
Exactly. A lot of people didn't know that. I mean, I knew that, but a lot of people didn't know that. And I think it's great. I think DC needs more things like this going forward. DC is really trying, to push their characters, into the public more, especially with them trying to make more films. I think they need something like this. I think it's a great idea, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to watch it. So, see,
the thing I'm curious about is Pennyworth has always been a veteran, but he's always been a World War II veteran. Are they going to make him an Afghani veteran because he's British? Because Afghanistan is essentially Britain's version of Vietnam. So I'm curious, what war are they going to put him in? Are they going to put him in Desert Storm? Are they going to put him in the 80s in the Falkland Islands? So I'm just kind of curious of how are they going to update Pennyworth? Because they have to age him appropriately for the Batman of today. So exactly. What war are they going to backtrack and put him in? Or are they going to make one up?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I mean, I watched their panel at Comic-Con. They didn't really give out too much yet because, they want to try to keep something secret, for when the show launches. So Deadpool is apparently, according to some news from Comic-Con, Deadpool might be joining the Avengers pretty soon in their future in their future films. But they said that before they add Deadpool to the Avengers series or their adventures, they will try to possibly introduce him through Spider-Man. In my opinion, I don't know how Deadpool is going to be. I don't know how he's going to fit in the universe of the Avengers. Honestly, I think trying to put Deadpool in the Avengers is like trying to find out a way of getting Freddy Krueger into Disney World.
Here's the thing. Deadpool and Spider-Man have a lot of comic books together. I think the way to bring Deadpool into the Avengers is through Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Literally have like Deadpool follow him into Avengers headquarters. And then there's a crisis. He follows. Shenanigans ensue. You know, they succeed despite of Deadpool. And he cracks jokes all the way.
Let's say you are one of the head honchos in Marvel. Do you water down Deadpool and throw him in a bunch of Avengers movies? Or do you let Deadpool do his thing in kind of a PG-13 kind of way? Maybe introduce him to some Marvel characters, some Avengers characters, and like let him do his own thing that way? Or do you throw him into the Avengers world, period?
You know what? I would have to watch Once Upon a Deadpool to actually answer that.
Oh yeah, you know what? I forgot about that. I never watched that because that was a PG-13 version, right?
Right.
Of
I would have
films.
to watch that to let you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be tough. Me personally, to see him with Spider-Man will be interesting because they're both different characters, but yet they're both very sarcastic in their own little way. You know what I mean? And I just can't see Deadpool being in like Avengers 6 or Avengers 7. Like he's just a totally different entity. And I really don't want them to just take rated R Deadpool and turn him into a Mickey Mouse character. It just won't fit.
He is a Mickey Mouse character now.
I mean, yeah, literally. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just a little worried. I'm a little worried because we don't have a lot of comic book hero movies right now that are so close to the edge that they have to put a rated R sticker on it. We don't have a lot of those anymore. Wolverine is dead, but I'm sure they'll bring him back some kind of way. So Deadpool's our only rated R guy. And I would really hate to see Disney destroy that character because a lot of people love those Deadpool films because of the fact that it's on the edge. It's gritty, it's grimy, it breaks the rules. You know, he breaks the third wall all the time. So I don't know. I'm just a little worried.
I don't see him with the Steve Rogers Captain America, but I do see him with the Falcon Captain America.
Why
I
so?
can see him with Bucky, you know, because Steve Rogers Captain America is prim and proper. He's a product of the 40s, although he was cursing in Endgame. It really isn't him. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But Falcon, who is a vet and of modern times, I can see him cussing up a storm.
Yeah.
I also see him getting along with Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, definitely. Him and Ant-Man. I can definitely see them getting along. Louise.
Okay.
Louise and Deadpool. I swear, the moment that we get Louise and Deadpool will be like history. That's probably gonna be like the best scene of all time.
That's a movie I want to watch.
I guarantee. You know what? I'm putting money on this right now, and this is going to be recorded, so we will have it in the history books. I guarantee you, those two will meet in the very near future, and that's going to make history in Marvel. It's going to be the best scene of all time.
In an Avengers movie, like they want to get rid of Deadpool, so they call Luis. So Luis and him talk, and then they go off on their mission. And then Deadpool shows up in the end on a fucking little scooter or something.
Oh man,
I love Louise. 12 bullets.
I love Louise. With everything changing with Disney right now, with them owning the rights to, you know, X-Men and all this stuff like that, it's really going to be interesting to see where they go with that universe. I mean, I would love to see mutants in the Marvel universe. I mean, it's been a long time coming, but we need it. I think that's going to help keep Marvel fresh and just keep things interesting by adding those different characters. So I just hope they don't.
I just want to see who they pick as the next Wolverine. I just really hope they pick a short guy because Wolverine is like 5'2", 5'3".
Yeah, he is really short. That's one thing I'm looking forward to as well. Just like in DC, I really love Batman, but in Marvel, I really love the X-Men. Like I've been like, I think out of most of the characters in Marvel, those are the characters that I love the most is the X-Men. I grew up on those guys.
What I don't like about Marvel is how people hate mutants, but they love metahumans. Like if Spider-Man was a mutant, they would hate him, but because he's a metahuman, they love him. Like I've never understood that. mean, I know the reason why they did it in the comic books, like the writers did it, because they wanted to make Professor X like Martin Luther King and Magneto like Malcolm X. No, it's true. Look it up. And that was their idea of it, you know, where one is more into like, you know, you push me, I'll push you back, and the other one is, you know, let's be peaceful.
Exactly.
Like I understand like the thinking behind it, but I never understood why one is hated when one isn't.
Yeah, that's a very interesting take on that. I never looked at that like that.
Yeah, but that's literally why they did it.
All right, so we're going to jump into our last show notes of the night, and this is still on the topic of Marvel. We talked about it last episode, but we got more information about Marvel Phase 4 from Comic-Con in San Diego. And one of the biggest things that came out of that is our crush, our future wife, Salma Hayek, is coming to the MCU.
No. My future affair.
Salma Hayek, man, is coming to freaking Marvel. Oh my God.
She's so hot.
Oh yeah.
If my girlfriend's listening, baby, I love you, but you know, I can look. I can look at the menu. I just can't order anything from it.
But yeah, Salma Hayek is going to be in the Eternals. That's coming out. Actually, it says it's coming out in 2020. Really, I didn't realize that. Yeah, it's coming out in 2020. What character is she playing?
That'll offset me not wanting to watch it for what's her name?
Angelina Jolie. Yes.
Yeah.
Finding out that Salma Hayek was going to be in it definitely intrigued me more to watch it, because Angelina Jolie playing Thena, I'm just like, but when they said Salma Hayek, I'm like, oh, I'm there.
Yeah.
She's going to be playing the character Ajak. I don't know if you know much about that character. Do you?
No, I know very little about the Eternals.
Okay. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. How do you feel about, I mean, Marvel has always been Hollywood with their characters, but I feel like they're reaching into a different pool of actors and actresses right now. Do you think Marvel is going to Hollywood with some of the actors and actresses that they're picking, or no? With
Angelina Jolie, yes. With the rest of the cast, no. Although the Kumail Nanjiani, that Indian comedian, like I don't understand why he's in it. You know,
yeah, he's playing Kingo, by the way. I don't know any of these characters, by the way, guys.
I don't know any of them. I'm gonna have to like, you know, look at some video that explains them.
Yeah, I know nothing about the Eternals, honestly. I never followed the comics or anything, so this is gonna be. I'm probably gonna read some of the comics before the movie comes out to get an idea of what I'm dealing with. But yeah, I feel like Marvel is diving into a different pool of Hollywood with their future films, which is going to be interesting to see how these films look. Because one of the things that made Marvel interesting is that, yeah, they did pick some decent top quality actors, but I feel like the pool that they're diving into might be too Hollywood, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't make sense to some people.
But the one thing that I do like, if you look at the cast, Angelina Jolie, although people think she's American, she's actually British. Richard Madden, I don't know what he is. You have an Asian guy, an Indian guy, a Latina, a black man, a black woman, and a white girl. That is a mixed cast. That is the only thing that makes me go, I'll watch it because it's a mixed cast.
Yeah.
And it's the first real mixed cast other than Ant-Man in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see what they're doing with this cast, which is why this film is going to be interesting for many reasons. So I'm definitely going to check it out. I'm going to see every Marvel film. Honestly, I'm just that guy. I will watch every Marvel film, you know, just to see how it is. I'm just that guy. So Salma Hayek definitely joining. Can't wait for that. Natalie Portman is coming back to Thor, which is his next film is called Thor: Love and Thunder. That's not going to be coming out until 2021. So that's going to be interesting to see her come back.
Yes, and they're going to do something with Valkyrie. She's going to be the only openly, or the first openly LGBTQ superhero in the MCU.
That's going to be really interesting. I love Valkyrie, by the way. I love that actress.
I'm kind of upset they're making a big deal out of it. I would just rather it happened to be that, and maybe like make that a surprise for people. You know, like I don't think everything needs to be mentioned, and it's just I think it's more of an impact if it's done matter of factly, not mentioned.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, nowadays, I mean, come on, we're heading into 2020. I mean, you know, whether it's interracial dating, whether it's gays or lesbian, like it's not something new. All of this has been going on for so long now. It doesn't matter whether somebody's gay. It doesn't matter whether somebody's having an interracial marriage or relationship. It's normal. Just let it be. It doesn't have to be a main topic. Like, oh, here's a movie with a black superhero. Here's a movie with a gay couple. Like, it's normal now. So, well, the thing in my opinion, it's normal.
With the race part of it, I kind of think that's important only because they may be the first one. You know what I'm trying to say? Like Black Panther was the first African American led and cast film almost throughout, you know, superhero, which I thought because it's the first one, it needed to be said. But past that point, you're done. Just like Obama, you know, the first black president. After that, you're done. You don't need to mention it anymore.
Yeah, that is true. That's true. In that regard, I can understand that.
My thing is the actor they picked to be Blade.
Yes.
Mahershala Ali. Now, the thing that is cool about it is he's a Muslim, and he's cast, you know, as Blade, who's of non-denomination, and no one, and it's not talked about, and so that's what I do like, that no one's talking about his religion, because some people are just really narrow-minded and stupid about it. So I kind of like that aspect of it, you know, but I just don't think he's cool enough to play Blade.
I mean, I've seen him in a lot of films. He's a pretty good actor.
Oh, he's a great actor.
Let me not say pretty good. Yeah, he's a really good actor. I watched him in, I don't know if you saw, what's that film? I mean that show Luke Cage on Netflix. He played Cottonmouth. He was a villain on that show. Oh yeah, great. But here's the thing. Awesome.
Now, listen to me. Who do you think would do a better Blade? Mahershala Ali or Michael B. Jordan?
Ooh, Michael B. Jordan. That would have been nice.
Michael B. Jordan is the motherfucker to play Blade. He has the swag to play Blade.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. That would have been awesome. I mean, yeah, like
if Mahershala Ali played Warmonger and then Michael B. Jordan played Blade, that'd be the perfect casting, in my opinion.
I personally think Wesley Snipes killed it, for one. I love Blade, and Wesley Snipes did an amazing job. But
he should play Whistler.
Ooh. Wow, that'd be a nice little twist.
He should play Whistler. That would be awesome. And give him like long dreadlocks, because you know how Whistler had long hair. Give him long dreadlocks and just have him be like, you know, have him be Whistler. I think that would be awesome.
I wouldn't doubt that they would probably try to do something like that just to give a nod, you know, to Wesley. I wouldn't doubt it.
Or make him the lead vampire.
That would be so dope. And then the thing is, how do we know that he's actually, I mean, what's this other actor's name again? I forgot. The one that's playing Blade.
Who, Mahershala Ali?
Yeah, so how do we know Ali is going to actually play Blade? What if he's not playing Blade? What if he's just in the Blade film, but he's hunting Blade?
I doubt it, because when they called the whole cast out, they called him out and he put on his hat for Blade. That pretty much says he's Blade.
But now my question is this, and a lot of people, there's been speculation going on, you know, around Comic-Con and afterwards saying that do you bring Blade back as saying, all right, he's part of, this is a Marvel film, but he's not going to be tied in with like, oh, Captain America and you know, everybody else. Is he just Blade with his own film, his own universe? Or do you throw him in the mix with everybody else?
Blade, no, he needs to be separate, and then later on have him cross over in a different way. Like when they do Mephisto, he should pop up. The other thing is Blade at one point was part of the Avengers, and he was also part of Heroes for Hire.
Really?
When he first joined the Avengers, he was playing the Ronin character and no one knew who he was. And then later on in the comic book, you discovered that he's Blade.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. So he has a history of being on that team.
I don't mind him being on a team. And I know we're going to have another Avengers saga coming up, and I'm looking forward to that. But I would like his role with the Avengers to kind of be like what the role that Captain Marvel had. You know, something short, you know, pop up here and there. But I don't want them to lose the identity of Blade just because of the Avengers story. I want Blade to be like it was with the previous films. I want the horror aspect. I want the rated R, raunchy, bloody Blade.
You want Blade 2?
I want Blade 2. That's what I want. Don't PG-13 Blade. That's basically what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid they're going to PG-13 Blade. Don't do it.
Now, Mahershala Ali, because he's such a good actor, he may surprise me because he has done tough bad guys. He has done sympathetic good guys. He has done, you know, a lot of different roles. So he may surprise me, but I just don't think he has. The thing about Blade is he has swag. You know what I'm trying to say?
He does. He does.
So my thing is Michael B. Jordan. Perfect.
He would have been an awesome Blade.
Oh, he would have been the perfect Blade. This guy, I don't know. But then again, Marvel knows what they're doing because think about it. You know, Captain America was played by the same actor who played the Human Torch.
Yeah, exactly. Look at Iron Man. Who would have thought Robert Downey Jr. would have been one of the most classic, you know, characters in the Marvel universe to this point? Hell, I cried when he died.
And he plays it so good that you can't think of anyone else in the role.
No, you can't. I'm
sorry. I didn't cry when Iron Man died. I was like, thank God he's done.
Oh my God. It was just getting on my nerves sometimes, man. I swear.
It was just too much Iron Man in the MCU.
All right. So that's going to be it for our show notes. We're going to jump into our recommendations. I pretty much already gave my recommendation earlier on in the show about the show Power that I'm binge watching right now, which I'm not done yet. I think I'm on season 4. So, Los, I'm going to let you give your recommendations.
Okay. My recommendation is a show I saw on Netflix called Safe. It is a 10-episode show about a kidnapping and a murder mystery that has so many twists to it. It is fucking disgusting. Like literally once the final twist happened, my jaw hit the floor. I was like, motherfucker, I don't believe it. It was good. It's a British show. It has the guy who plays Dexter is the main character. People don't know he's British. And yeah, worth the watch. I could only binge watch 2 episodes a night, but like every night I was like, I gotta watch it. It's so good.
What's gonna happen next?
Yeah. And like you don't realize like how hooked you are until the episode's over and you're like, oh my God, what happens next?
I'm gonna check that one out.
I'm really good. Really, really good. There's a lot you need to watch, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, my backlog of shows is just growing by the day. And with the fact that all these streaming services are coming out, it's just pushing out so many shows I can't keep up. That's why I have to binge watch stuff just to like get through it so I can get to the next show. You know, I started Game of Thrones like 3 weeks ago, and I started like my first episode, and I think I'm only on like episode 3, and I still got like what, 7 seasons? How many was it? 7 seasons? 8 seasons?
I can wait on Game of Thrones because I have other series I want to watch. You should watch The Expanse though, for real.
Yeah, it's too much to watch, man. I need to take a weekend and like literally just cut my phone off and just catch up on like a crap ton of shows.
Bro, I'm telling you, just sit on the toilet with your phone, watch the episode, let your legs go numb, okay, and just enjoy it.
I might have to, man. I just might have to. Yeah. So, all right, guys. So that's going to be it for the show. I really do appreciate you guys checking us out. Just like I said earlier in the show, me and Los are going to be trying to go to Comic-Con this fall. We will keep you guys posted with everything on that. We might try to see if we can run a little, I guess kind of like a fundraiser. I don't know if we want to call it a fundraiser, but just like a little donation to help Los and I to get to Comic-Con, because it's going to be very expensive with just getting there, getting possibly a hotel. I'm not sure. Do you want to go for like all 4 days? Do you want to go for like a day or two? Or
I've done Comic-Con in the past, and really the first day, the Friday, is the best day to go because it's not all that crowded. The Saturday and Sunday is hell.
Really?
It's hell. But there's a lot of people in cosplay, and that's so nice to see. And people are very polite when you take pictures with them or of them. It's a nice experience. Oh, but bring a book bag because of all the swag you get. You're gonna need to bring a bag to carry everything
for
in.
Sure. I'll get more details, and I will definitely keep you guys posted on that. Also, once again, thank you to everybody who's been leaving ratings or reviews on iTunes, on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Keep showing us love. Keep letting us know what you like, what you don't like. And I'm going to let Los do the biz.
Okay. Once again, guys, thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast on our YouTube channel. We appreciate everything you can do. And if you could help us out on Patreon, that would be awesome. If you can only donate $1 a month, it would be awesome to help us keep the lights on. We do a lot of research for the show, and we look at a lot of pop culture to try to get our show informative. And hopefully you guys can learn something as much as we do the show. Again, if you can, like, comment, and subscribe. Rate us 5 stars if you can. That would really help us get boosted in when people could give us more visibility. And don't forget to donate to our Patreon page. It's not necessary, but we do appreciate it.
Awesome. Sounds good. All right, guys. Thanks for checking us out. We will catch you guys later. Peace out.
Later.
Awesome show, man. Awesome freaking show. That was good.